Jaxen, a former cop, is in the gym with a massive, intimidating man about to teach him a lesson. Jax makes it clear that his wife Lisa knows nothing about this meeting and had no part in arranging it. He is there on behalf of people worried about her safety, and the message is simple.
That hitting your wife shit's gotta stop.
But rather than show any remorse, the fool throws out racial slurs and sarcastically asks whether Jax expects him to apologize and promise never to hit Lisa again. Jax calmly says that is exactly what will happen before their conversation ends, then warns him never to use that slur again. The warning only inflames Myers further. Confident his size will intimidate Jax, he removes his shirt, shows off his muscular build, and insists Jax has no right to interfere because he does not know the full story. He orders him to leave while he still can. Jax quietly removes his cap and turns as though he is walking away. Believing he has won, Myers swings at him from behind, but Jax sees it coming. He counters with a crushing side kick, calmly removes his jacket, and dismantles the much larger man without breaking a sweat. Within moments, the surgeon is helpless on the floor. With the lesson delivered, Jax explains how Myers can begin making things right. He should buy Lisa something nice, seek therapy, and take her on a proper vacation. When she asks about his bruises, he can claim he joined an MMA class and got beaten by someone who looked even worse. Before Jax leaves, Myers reluctantly repeats the exact apology Jax predicted.
I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. My man.
Jax soon returns to the nightclub where he works as head of security and quickly deals with an unruly customer in the restroom, ordering one of the guards to escort him outside. In the security office, Ree hands over the payment for Myers, but Jax returns Mrs. Jordan's $500, refusing to take money from someone who needs it more than he does. His attention shifts to the surveillance monitors, where he spots a familiar face outside. Jax heads down and is pleasantly surprised to find his former flame, Gina. Stunned by how beautiful she has become, he asks what she is doing in a nightclub when it has never really been her scene. Gina explains that she quit her job at the morgue and now works as an event planner. She only came to watch a band she may hire for an upcoming event. Gina asks why Jax never became a lawyer, and he admits he abandoned law and left the police because he no longer wanted that life. Their conversation drifts toward the relationship they never had. Gina explains that he was a cop while she was still in law school, so the timing was never right. Jax jokes that the nightclub is romantic enough to make up for lost time, but Gina reminds him that she has always liked him but does not do one-night stands. Jax then offers to let her get to know him properly, and they return to his apartment. Inside, Gina notices a Wing Chun wooden dummy in the corner and surprises him by confidently demonstrating the techniques he taught her years earlier. Impressed that she continued training, Jax accepts her playful challenge to spar. What begins as a friendly contest quickly becomes an evenly matched fight, with neither willing to back down. Before long, the competition gives way to years of buried chemistry, and the two finally act on the feelings they never had the chance to explore. The following morning, Jax wakes to find Gina gone. Moments later, the doorbell rings and a delivery man hands him a package. Inside is a beautifully crafted ceramic vase and a handwritten card from Gina. The thoughtful gift brings a smile to his face, but the moment ends when he hears a gun cock behind him. Two men sent by Holden are standing inside his apartment, intending to escort him to a meeting. Jax appears more concerned by the intrusion than by the sausage being pointed at him. He calmly tells the gunman to lower it, arguing that there is no reason to keep it aimed at him for the entire trip. The man refuses, and the argument escalates until he threatens to shoot Jax.
Shoot me.
I wanted to shoot you in 1985. Make me shoot your ass.
What we gonna do? Go all the way down?
I got the gun.
You gotta put the motherfucker down. You want me to get dressed, right?
Get dressed. Let's go.
Okay, how do I get dressed? Are you gonna go with me to the bedroom with the big ass fucking gun in my face? You eventually have to put the gun down anyway. Why don't you just put it down now and let me get dressed? Am I making sense? Right?
The instant the gunman relaxes, Jax strikes, disarms him, and immediately throws the weapon aside because I don't need this shit. Unfortunately, it crashes directly into Gina's vase. The gunman attacks, only to be dropped within seconds. His partner charges next and suffers the same fate, once again proving that Jax is far more comfortable fighting with his hands. After knocking both men unconscious, Jax stuffs them into the elevator and sends them downstairs. Over the intercom, he tells the building's doorman, Willis, that two men who apparently tripped over themselves are on the way down and should not be allowed back upstairs. Willis offers to handle them with his military-issued .45 Colt, but Jax assures him that will not be necessary. Carrying the damaged delivery box, Jax marches into Swerve Records and walks straight past the receptionist, Lonnie. He barges into Holden's office and slams the box onto the conference table, interrupting a business meeting. Sensing the tension, Holden politely excuses his clients and asks Lonnie to escort them out. Once they are alone, Jax explains that Holden sent 2 men to his apartment and that they destroyed his property. Holden admits he only wanted to hire him, but Jax refuses to discuss any job until he is compensated for the vase, which he claims was worth $2,000. Holden casually calls Lonnie and tells her to take the money from the budget of a client who has not even signed a contract yet. Jax mocks him for cheating clients before they've even become clients, but Holden brushes the criticism aside. With the payment being prepared, Holden asks for 2 minutes to explain the job. Jax agrees to listen while he waits. Holden reveals that Jahari, Swerve's biggest artist and most valuable source of income, has disappeared just as her new album is about to launch. Jax suggests calling the police, but Holden immediately rejects the idea. Swerve is preparing to go public, and news that its biggest star has vanished could destroy both the label's reputation and its value. Lonnie soon returns with the $2,000, and Jax carefully counts every bill before putting it away. Still curious, Jax asks why Holden did not hire someone cheaper. Holden reminds him that Jax once worked as Jahari's personal bodyguard, although his teasing tone suggests he believes their relationship became far more personal. Jahari even wrote a love song inspired by Jax during the time he protected her. Jax remains uninterested until Holden reveals that Jahari has relapsed into heroin addiction. The last time she began using again, she nearly died, and Holden claims he fears the same thing is happening now.
Last time she vanished, we managed to keep it from the press. She could be in a gutter or holed up somewhere getting high.
Jahari must be found before the album release, but Jax quickly realizes Holden is far more concerned about protecting his company than saving her life. Disgusted by his priorities, Jax reminds him that Jahari is a person, not simply an investment. Holden shrugs and argues that drugs and famous musicians have always gone together. He may not have introduced her to heroin, but he is now the one forced to deal with the consequences. Knowing the search will be difficult, Jax sets his price at $50,000, half up front and the rest once Jahari is safely returned. Holden immediately opens his desk drawer and produces the first payment, catching Jax completely off guard. The money had been sitting there the entire time, but Holden deliberately made him wait for the $2,000 because he knew Jax would have walked away before hearing the offer if he had paid him with that amount. Jax refuses to guarantee success, but he agrees to begin searching. On his way out, he apologizes to Lonnie for barging past her and asks her to contact him if she hears anything useful. To encourage her cooperation, he discreetly slips her some money to get a nice dinner. Lonnie smiles and happily accepts both. That evening, Jax returns to the nightclub and finds Ree busy charming a woman. He pulls him away and into the security office, ignoring Ree's complaints that things were just getting interesting. Jax explains that Jahari is using drugs again, and the assignment will not be easy. He has not spoken to her in a long time and has no idea where she may have gone. Fortunately, Ree has already heard rumors through his connections at the club. Jahari has recently been spending time with a baller named Money, who runs an after-hours club called Moneymakers. Before Jax can follow the lead, his phone buzzes with a message from Gina, and he immediately excuses himself. That evening, Jax meets Gina with a bouquet of flowers, hoping to repair the damage, but she is not interested in being won over that easily. After what she believed was a wonderful night together, she sent him the ceramic vase, tried calling him, and was met with an abrupt hang-up. Hurt by what felt like rejection, she demands an explanation. Jax admits she deserved better and explains that Holden's men appeared at his apartment moments after she left, dragging him into a dangerous assignment that could turn violent at any moment. Since he refuses to let Gina become collateral damage, he tells her they need to put their relationship on hold until the job is over.
Who the hell you gotta find?
It's not important.
If it's not important, then why can't you tell me?
Damn, is this how it's gonna be with you?
Oh, Jax, don't give me that bullshit. If you can't talk to me, then we are wasting our time.
Barnes Holland hired me to find this singer, Jahari.
Oh, the singer?
Learning that the case involves Jahari only deepens Gina's concern, especially after hearing about the love song the singer supposedly wrote for him. Jax promises that once he sorts everything out, they can continue where they left off. Gina agrees, but she can already see that he is no longer the carefree man she spent the previous night with, and she quietly heads back inside. Following Ree's lead, Jax visits Moneymakers and approaches Money, who is surrounded by 3 men. When Jax asks to speak with him, Money wonders how he recognized him. Jax explains that the 3 men gave him away by staring the moment he mentioned Money's name. Curious about what he wants, Money agrees to continue the conversation somewhere private. Money explains that when he believes in something, he is willing to go down in flames for it, then asks why Jax has come. Jax reveals that Jahari is missing and that her record label hired him to find her. Money laughs, explaining that she told him weeks earlier that she wanted to disappear from the record label. Since he last saw her only a few days ago, he assumed she simply needed space. Jax is not convinced and tells him to call her. When Jahari fails to answer, Money's confidence disappears. He pulls 2 guns from a drawer and offers one to Jax, who refuses because he does not use firearms. They head to Jahari's apartment and find her belongings scattered across the floor. While Money searches the building and calls her name, Jax notices a party invitation buried among the trash and slips it into his pocket. Money is now convinced she has been kidnapped and wants to start taking out anyone who might know something. But Jax asks for a few days to investigate properly.
Man, you don't even know who took it yet. Okay, what are you gonna do? Start beating up people randomly till somebody talks?
What you expect me to do? I'm supposed to just sit here like a bitch, waiting for her to show up?
Hey, remember Superfly? Ron O'Neal was trying to get out of the drug game.
This ain't no fucking movie, nigga.
Call me motherfucker if you must.
This ain't a movie, motherfucker.
Thank you. Point is, Superfly didn't just break out. He had a plan. We have to have a plan, Money.
If Jahari is still missing by the weekend, Money can handle things his way. Reluctantly, he agrees. That evening, the invitation gets Jax into a party honoring Holland. Holland is surprised to see him socializing instead of following leads, but Jax explains what he found inside Jahari's apartment. Holland dismisses the mess as the result of another heroin relapse, then excuses himself to greet the company's most important investor. Jax asks Lonnie how Holland managed to secure the Man of the Year award. She points out Song, a wealthy early investor whose influence helped make it happen. Across the room, Gina impresses Song with the event so thoroughly that she is offered the chance to manage 3 more. Spotting Jax, Gina jokingly introduces him as her daily distraction before presenting him to Song. When Song asks whether he came to celebrate Holland, Jax admits he is working for him and explains Jahari's disappearance. After Gina steps away, Song wishes him luck and cryptically suggests he may find far more than he expects. Jax calls after her, but her bodyguards, Fang and Lung, immediately block his path. Song apologizes for their overprotectiveness and asks what he wants. Jax questions why she fought so hard to secure Holland's award, but Song merely calls him a talented creative and walks away. Assuming Jax cannot understand him, Fang mutters a warning in Chinese, only for Jax to answer fluently and leave him stunned. Gina later asks what Song said, but Jax brushes the conversation aside and congratulates her on successfully handling the biggest event of her career. As he prepares to leave, she asks him to step outside. Meanwhile, Song privately scolds Fang for embarrassing her, pointing out that Jax only approached because she deliberately invited his attention. Outside, Jax admits that keeping Gina at a distance is the last thing he wants. He is only afraid of placing her in danger. Gina reminds him that she can protect herself, and after sparring with her the night before, he knows she is right.
I don't know if we were on some good behavior shit, but I never saw this side of you. You were clearly not just that fine girl from Berkeley with a pretty smile. You are as ride or die as any man would ever wish for. And if I had just invested the time back then, maybe I would have found out. Now that's on me.
Unwilling to lose her again, Jax pulls her close and kisses her. Their reunion barely lasts until morning. As Jax introduces Gina to Willis as his woman, 2 bikers suddenly race toward them and open fire. Jax shields Gina, grabs Willis's gun, and kicks one attacker off his Ferrari, Kung Fu Panda style. The impact knocks the biker's helmet away, giving Jax a clear look at his face. He tries firing at the second attacker as he circles back, but the gun's mechanism is damaged, allowing the biker to retrieve his wounded partner and escape. Jax rushes to Gina and discovers she has been shot in the shoulder. At the hospital, a detective asks why the dragons are targeting him, but Jax insists he has no idea. Once Gina is stable, Money calls for an update on Jahari. Jax claims he is getting close and asks Money to guard Gina while he follows a lead connected to the attacker's helmet. The trail takes Jax to a club controlled by the Chinese gang. When one member quietly orders another in Chinese to attack him from behind, Jax understands every word and turns before the ambush lands. A brutal fight erupts and he tears through most of the gang before tricking the survivors survivors into admitting that Holland hired the assassins. Only afterward does he reveal that the gun he used to intimidate them fires oversized pellets rather than real bullets. Jack storms into Holland's office and forces the truth out of him. Song trapped Holland in debt, kidnapped Jahari, and intended to force him into taking Swerve Records public before killing the singer and driving the label's value even higher.
And what good would that do?
It would be crazy demand for her music if she died. You ever heard of Pop Smoke or Nipsey Hussle before they died? Then she would force me to give her Swerve to ease my debt. Turn around and sell it for more money than it has ever been worth.
Holland also admits that he hired Jax to divert suspicion and fabricated the relapse story because he knew it would draw him into the search. Once Holland reveals where Jahari is being held, Jax leaves him to deal with the consequences. Back at the hospital, Jax finds Money entertaining Gina with a card game. Money steps outside to give them privacy, but Gina has already made her decision. The shooting proved that being with Jax places her in constant danger, and she no longer wants that life.
I might have been down to ride with you, but I'm definitely not down to die.
Though the rejection hurts, Jax does not argue. In the parking lot, he tells Money everything Holland confessed. With Jahari's location confirmed, the two men head out to rescue her. Holland's betrayal quickly catches up with him. After learning that Jax paid him a visit, Song sends Fang and several men to interrogate him. Holland insists he revealed nothing important, but Song does not believe him. Convinced he is still hiding something, she orders him to settle what he owes her in 48 hours before throwing him out of the van. Meanwhile, Jax and Money reach the warehouse where Jahari is being held and study it from a nearby rooftop. Jax suggests crossing the street and entering through the stairwell, but Money has a far more creative solution. To Jax's amazement, he produces a grappling hook launcher and fires a cable across to the neighboring roof. Watching Money handle the equipment like a professional, Jax asks what kind of life he lived before becoming a nightclub owner. Money casually claims he used to be in a boy band. Jax clearly does not believe him, but he follows him across the cable anyway, reaching the opposite rooftop moments before the line nearly sends him straight to the underworld. Once inside, Jax quietly releases gas throughout the building to set their rescue plan in motion. Ree soon arrives, posing as a government official, investigating a reported leak. Backed by men in spacesuits, he convinces the guards to allow an inspection.
Now, if the confunction of the bar case reached mass production, you may not live long. My bad.
Fang permits them to search the lower levels, but refuses access to the upper floors. Ree threatens to report the obstruction, forcing him to relent, though he gives the team only 5 minutes. At the same time, Jahari creates her own opening. Pretending she needs the restroom, she slips away from her bodyguard and knocks him unconscious from behind. Jax and Money soon discover the guard and realize Jahari is already attempting to escape. They split up to find her before Fang does. When Fang learns she is missing, he begins tearing through the warehouse. Money, meanwhile, climbs out of the elevator and finds Lau aiming a gun directly at him. Ree insists Money is part of the inspection team, but Lau is not convinced. To preserve the disguise, Ree damages a wall and releases more gas into the hallway. Money uses the distraction to snatch Lau's weapon, only for Lau to draw a second gun and force him to return it. Elsewhere, Jax finally finds Jahari hiding. Relieved to see him, she throws her arms around him, but he orders her to remain hidden while he clears a path out. The situation downstairs continues spiraling when Money lights a cigar in front of Lau, drops it, and suddenly draws 2 guns while demanding Jahari's location. Ree warns that firing inside a gas-filled building could ignite everything, but neither man backs down. Seconds later, an explosion tears through the warehouse, and the rescue collapses into chaos. With the staircase leading toward Jahari engulfed in flames, Money tries to charge through, but his own men restrain him as he desperately screams her name. Elsewhere, Jax encounters Fang, who demands a fair martial arts fight. Jax answers by drawing his gun, only for Lung to strike from behind. Outnumbered, Jax is overwhelmed. Fang takes the weapon and shoots him before leaving with Lung, believing the fight is over. Unfortunately for them, the gun is still loaded with harmless pellets. Jax rises after they leave, discovers his phone was destroyed during the beating, and continues searching alone until he finally reunites with Jahari. Outside, Ree escapes with Money and assures him that Jahari is most likely still with Jax. Moments later, Jax emerges from the burning warehouse carrying her in his arms, completing the rescue. Elsewhere, Song seethes over the failure and raises her sword over Fang and Lung, but Fang quickly reminds her that they still have one final way to salvage the situation. After the rescue, Jax is treated at the hospital by Black-Eyed Panther. Money rushes in and embraces Jahari before Myers pulls him away to treat his injuries. Alone with Jax, Jahari thanks him for saving her again. Jax explains that the job is not finished. They still need to recover her recording contract from Holden's office and have it canceled, permanently freeing her from Swerve Records. Jahari also reveals that therapy helped her understand why she once believed she was in love with Jax. He rescued her during one of the most traumatic periods of her life, and those feelings became tangled with gratitude. She then jokes that Jax may have a savior complex, but he redirects her attention toward money, reminding her that he risked everything to reach her. For the first time, Jahari fully recognizes how deeply money cares about her. Jax then goes to check on Gina, only to learn that she has already been discharged. A nurse then explains that she took a taxi to Swerve Records, and Jax immediately realizes she is heading straight into Song's trap. Inside the label, Holland pays the price for betraying Song. As Lung brutally beats him, Song questions him one final time. Holland continues insisting that he revealed nothing to Jax, but she remains unconvinced and orders Fang to dispose of him once they have secured everything they need. At the same time, Gina arrives after accepting an invitation from Song, unaware of the danger waiting inside. Jax and Money race towards Swerve Records. During the drive, Jax secretly calls Lonnie and warns her not to say his name if anyone is nearby. Choosing her words carefully, she quietly describes what is happening inside Holland's office until Gina enters, forcing her to lower the phone. Thinking fast, Lonnie pretends she is finishing an ordinary business call before casually passing it to Gina. Jax warns Gina that Song orchestrated the shooting outside his apartment. Gina initially refuses to believe him, but Jax points out the one detail Song should never have known. Gina had been hospitalized. He tells her to leave the building immediately, but Song enters with Fang and Lung before she can move. Maintaining her composure, Gina pretends she is still discussing business over the phone and casually asks Lonnie where the ladies' room is. Rather than following the directions she receives, she slips into the stairwell and attempts to escape unnoticed. Outside, Jax and Money crash through the front gate of Swerve Records. Song's armed security team opens fire immediately. Jax shoots back while advancing toward the entrance, only to glance over and see Money calmly changing into tactical gear before throwing a heavy machine gun over his shoulder. Jax clears most of the guards blocking their path, and Money strolls inside looking completely relaxed, leaving Jax staring at him in disbelief. Unable to contact the security team, Fang realizes something has gone wrong. As Jax fights his way toward the rooftop, Fang and Lung intercept him for one final showdown. Before the fight begins, Jax unexpectedly delivers a brief history lesson. He explains that one of the earliest complete martial arts systems can be traced back to Africa thousands of years ago, then describes how Bodhidharma later introduced techniques to the Shaolin monks that helped shape Chinese martial arts.
Now, I know you've seen the depictions of Damo all over China. Let me ask you something. Does he look like you, or does he look like me?
With the lesson complete, he calmly invites both men to test their skills against him. The duel quickly becomes one-sided. Fang and Lung are highly trained, but neither can match Jax's experience or technique. Within minutes, he defeats them both without suffering any serious injuries. Song steps onto the rooftop moments later. Jax demands Gina's release and explains that he holds no personal grudge against her. He offers to end the conflict peacefully before any more blood is spilled. Before Song can answer, a desperate cry echoes across the rooftop. Jax turns and sees a woman tied to a chair balanced dangerously close to the edge. Song rejects every offer of peace, draws her sword, and attacks. Her superior swordsmanship forces Jax onto the defensive. Without warning, she slices through the rope securing the chair, sending it tipping over the edge. Jax lunges forward and catches it before the woman plunges to the street below. As he struggles to hold on, Song raises her sword and prepares to finish him while he is helpless. At that exact moment, Gina blasts Song away with a hairdryer, sending her flying over the edge and ending the confrontation once and for all. Jax pulls the terrified hostage back to safety, only to discover the woman is Lonnie. Returning inside, Money reveals that ownership of Swerve Records had been legally transferred to him. He produces the paperwork as proof, confirming that Jahari is finally free. Money checks his watch and urges Jax to leave immediately, claiming there is no time to explain. Seconds after they step outside, a massive explosion tears through the top-floor security office. Money casually admits that the blast was of covering up their tracks, then jokes that the destroyed space can now be remodeled into Lonnie's new office. As a final thank you for helping save Jahari, Money tosses Jax the keys to a brand new car. The two men share a heartfelt embrace before parting ways. With Song defeated, Jahari free, and the danger finally behind him, Jax reunites with Gina. Together, they drive away, leaving the chaos behind and finally getting the chance to begin the life they nearly lost. Okay, so this was a pretty rough movie. The CGI in the rooftop fight was painfully obvious, and the editing felt sloppy. I love Michael Jai White, fantastic actor, but it's clear he's still finding his footing as a director. That said, credit where it's due. The fight choreography was solid, and honestly, that's what carried the whole film for me. Tell me in the comments what you thought of this one, and drop the next movie you'd like me to recap. Thanks for watching.